Hey guys, my name is Manjunath and welcome back to my channel. And in this particular video, we'll be learning models and how we can do the migration. So in last video, we were able to set up the templating and we were able to create this base template which can be linked with home and about page so that everything is easier for us to work in this particular project. So now we can proceed to create models and all those stuff. But before I do that, I need to make sure that this particular page is at least looking better. So I thought, let me just create some kind of CSS file and type it out all the CSS which is required to make this page at least look little bit better. But instead of that, I'll be using Bootstrap, which is CSS framework for building some kind of website easily without having to code the CSS by ourselves. I'll just show you how it can be done. You just have to go to this particular page and this is getbootstrap.com, and I'll just link this particular this particular website in the description so that you can directly copy it and or you can directly click on it and go to this page. And once you go to this page, just scroll down a little bit and copy this particular CDN. Entire link you have to copy. Once you copy this link, just come back here, and as we did the templating feature of block content, we don't have to, I mean, we have set it up the layout. We don't have to go to about page and home page and paste this particular CSS link. We can directly go to base.html, and if we paste the CSS link, we are good to go. And as you can see, now the text is looking like this, and once I pasted this particular file and if I refresh, the text changes. That indicates Bootstrap is kicking in, and now we are able to use any Bootstrap class in our project. So let me go to home page and let me style. Before I go to home page, let me style some things in the base only. I want entire page to have a little bit of padding in the right and left. That can be achieved by typing dot container and enter if you are using VS Code, or you can directly type whatever I have typed here, and I'll just paste out. So I'll just paste out whatever was left in this particular file. Once I have pasted it, I can directly go here. If I view it, it will give me little bit of space from right to left. I mean, it's still in the right also, but you can see, you'll be able to see it in a while. So once I do that, let me go to includes and style the navbar. Instead of putting everything in here, I'll just cut it for a while and let me type the Bootstrap classes for making this particular thing good. I have just cut it. Make sure it's still in your clipboard. Don't copy it again. So I can type any Bootstrap class which is available for me. First, I would like to start with the text center. It will make the text center so that if I go here, everything is centered out. And BG gray. So does this make it? No, I don't think so. So instead of that, I can directly type BG primary. So if I put BG primary, I can type text white. Instead of BG primary, I'll just make it as BG info. That gives us a little bit better color. And I require little bit of space in the top and bottom, so I can type my. Fine. That gives me more space, not my. Just make sure it is py5. So once I do py5, I'll get little bit spacing in here. So now the navbar is looking at least decent. If I go to about page, it shows me about. If I go to home page, it shows me Django is awesome. Now we are able to proceed with the doing some kind of modeling in this particular video. So let me go to pages folder, and in the pages folder, if I click models, I'll be able to create any kind of model. In this particular video, I just want to show you how we can create one page where many products are displayed with its title and little bit description and pricing. So my model should have similar things. So let me start by creating the model here. Just have to go to models.py in the pages folder, and we have to create a class name. We have to create a class which can be named as anything, but for better understanding, I'll just keep it as product, which is the name of the product which we are creating. That is, we want the products to be displayed here. Once I create the class, I have to use this particular models as constructor, and we can use it as models dot model. Sorry, models dot model. Once I use this particular thing, I'll be able to create all the fields which we required in order to display the product itself. So I'll just type out the fields which we require. That would be, we require product name. I'll just set it as name because it's product model, so name, and we require description, and we require the price of it, and another thing we might require is created at, that is the time when this particular file is created. So name can be a text, so I will just, name can be a char field. So I just have to type a model, no, that is, I made a typo here, should be models, and I will just type models here, and it can be char field. So if I type char field, it need to have a length for it, that is max length, and I'll just keep it as 255. You can choose whichever the length is better for your project, but I'll just keep it as 255. And description can be a text field. So for that we have to type text field, not text choices, but text choices. It is text field. So once I put the text field here, it doesn't require max length because it will give us the sufficient text to put it as description. And price, usually people like to keep it as number field, but I will keep for this tutorial as a char field. Why not? I'll just keep it max length as 255. Once I finish doing that, we have to type created at. So whenever this particular products get created, I want this field to be filled. So it can be done by typing models dot date time field, and the value for this can be auto now add, and we can set this particular thing true, so that whenever this particular product is added, the time gets updated automatically and with the date. So once we write this particular thing, we need to continue and migrate this particular model. So how we can do that? We just have to come to terminal here, and you have to press Ctrl C, which will stop the server, and we have to type Python 3 manage.py make migrations. If I type this particular command, it will create a migration for our pages app, and it will tell create model product. Once we make this particular migration work, that time we'll be able to go to this particular file here, and it will create a migration which will update our database. So now you might be thinking, I didn't create any kind of database or any kind of link to MySQL or MongoDB or PostgreSQL, but you have to understand that Django by default comes with db.sqlite. I have told about this in first video, saying there is db.sqlite file, which I'll explain in this particular video. So that db.sql3 is created by Django whenever we created this project in the beginning. So if you go to settings.py, you will find a database section. In this database section, you can change the backend links to MySQL, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, or anything. And by seeing your database, you have to type whatever the required authentication things for that particular database. That would be, if you are using MySQL, you need to pass which whether it's local host or some remote host, username, password, database name, etc. But we are using SQLite, which comes by default with the MongoDB, so it automatically puts it for us in this particular folder. Because of that, we'll be able to use this model and in this particular database, and whenever we created models here, we were able to directly make the migration work. But if you see here, the 18 unapplied migrations, we have created a new migration here, but it's still not applied, because if you run the server, it will give me error saying you have 19 unapplied migration. That means if you run this particular command, that is python 3 manage.py make migration, it will just create the migration, it won't run the migration. If you want to run the migration, you have to type python 3 manage.py and migrate. So if I write this particular command, it will migrate everything for us, and if you change something in this particular file, it will automatically generate a migration for us. For example, if I add here sale is equal to models dot chart field, it will just indicate us whether sales, what kind of sales is available for this particular product. So if I just type models dot character and if I save it, now if I run migrate command, it won't migrate us anything, but you have to type that command called python 3 manage.py make migrations, which will create the migration option for us. Just have to type any kind of whenever we add some kind of new field, it will just tell us to type something here. So we'll just type it as date time, no, not date time, time zone dot now. So if you just type this particular thing, it will create the migration for us. Don't worry about this much, because it just said that if we don't have any, if we add new field, it can't be directly empty. So we need to have some kind of default value, that is time zone dot now. So it won't do any kind of extra thing for us, but it will just let us create a new migration file for us. So making this migration file will help us to migrate the thing, which we can do by saying python 3 manage.py migrate. So it will create another new migration which will apply it to the database. So if you go to MySQL, I mean, if you used MySQL with this particular project, I didn't use MySQL, but if you will use the MySQL, then if you go to PHP myadmin, you will be able to see all the database name, which also include a table named product and all the details which is required, which we put in this particular file. So that's it for this video, guys. If you want to know more what we are going to do in next video, just see that here it created already admin and auth migrations. So that means in the next video we'll be working with the /admin, which is mysterious for us now, but let me just run the server here. Okay, the server is running now, and if I come here and if I refresh, this admin page is there, but we don't know the username and password, which we'll do it in the next video. So that's all for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you in the next video. Bye bye.